Most guys who like boots because they are very tough and durable and sturdy, have thick leather that ages well, and while a quick glance at my channel will show you I have no shortage of that kind of heavy leather boot, those usually aren't the qualities that you want from footwear you're traveling in. So this is a different genre. And I don't know about you, but most of my usual preferences for boots go out the window when I'm packing my bag. With all the security checkpoints and suitcase weigh-ins, a good travel boot, in my opinion, scores well in the following criteria. And I guess this is roughly in order of importance, to me anyway. Number one, easy to take on and off, like for metal detectors and also for long flights. You know, when you snooze in socks on the plane and then you have to put them back on when you go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Also, in a lot of places, especially in Asia, you're expected to take your boots off when you go inside. Even in stores sometimes. I literally had to take my boots off to walk into a boot store in Ho Chi Minh City, for example. Guess it made it easy to buy boots. Besides the ease of taking them on and off, other criteria for a good travel boot would be, number two, to be as lightweight as possible and to not take up too much space either, because you might have to pack them or because you'll have to spend 24 hours trudging around airports in them because you couldn't pack them. In either case, it's a bit nicer when they're lighter weight than bastards like these Nix boots. And most of the boots on this list actually are lighter than these leather sneakers from Koya, who are not sponsoring this video, obviously. Best alternatives to Koya sneakers. Number three, ideally, they have decent enough grip that you won't slip on wet cobblestones. Number four, water resistant enough for rain. Number five, versatile enough that you can wear them touristing in the day and out to a restaurant at nighttime. There's a good chance that's the main reason you're getting boots instead of sneakers. You want to look a bit more grown up and presentable sometimes. And number six, comfy enough that you can walk in them all day, or at least comfortable enough that you aren't risking a really rough break-in while you're traveling. This point should not be underemphasized because if you're looking at this list, you're thinking about what to buy for a trip, which means the boots, if you get some, will probably be new, and you do not want to deal with a break-in while you are on the road. So that's what I personally value for my travel boots. You might order things a bit differently, like you might want a grippy sole over a cushy one, or a stylish boot over a weatherproof one. So since you might have different priorities, I'm giving you this list of my personal favorite boots for traveling in, and they all score a little bit differently in those categories, I think. So somewhere on this list, you'll find what works for you and the trip that you are thinking of. That said, the number one thing people say online when they're looking for a travel boot is easy to take on and off. So these are all slip-ons. The first entry is a product I never thought I would enjoy, the sneaker boots. So this is the Chelsea sneaker boot from Luca. I won't say this is the most versatile boot in the world, but if you want something that's casual but also stylish and cushy underfoot, I'm pretty impressed with this boot. I think you could call it smart casual, and unsurprisingly, because it doesn't have a normal boot construction, it's the lightest weight on this list. So I put it first for getting the highest marks in lightness, and of course it's also easy to take on and off as well, especially with these pull tabs. Another reason I'm doing a variety of different boot constructions in this video, even though they might look a bit similar, is that different guys have different ideas of what's comfortable. This is a really key point. Like for some people, it's a nice hard sole with a steel shank, a really stable boot. For others, it's something nice and soft like this one. And both camps will say that their preferred type of boot build is what keeps them from getting sore feet at the end of a long day of sightseeing. So it depends on how you build and what your feet are like. But yeah, I've got some really stable ones and some cushy lightweight ones, and this is the cushiest and the lightest weight on this list. I was actually really surprised when I saw that it has Lactate Havea soles. So it's like this really premium rubber that is also on my $800 sneakers that I got at a luxury sneaker workshop in England, and also on this antelope suede boot that I got at a workshop in Maine. Like it's a very high-end rubber. It's all natural, harvested from rubber trees in France. Also important to note, while they get called a sneaker boot, and that's a fair enough name because they can't be resold, this stitched construction is nonetheless way more durable than your average sneaker. They don't do half sizes. I'm a half sized, sized up and worked out fine. They fit really well. But yeah, I'd prefer half size offerings for a slip-on boot, to be fair. But if you do want something that has kind of similar benefits, but it can dress up more easily, I weighed all these boots, and the very smart Cavalier from Thursday Boot Company is almost the same weight as this sneaker boot, despite the fact that it has way more layers underfoot, and it has the much more sophisticated and durable and water-resistant Goodyear welt construction, which makes it very easy to resole when you do wear through the sole. Thursday Boot Company, they sell 4 kinds of Chelseas. I almost put their better-selling Legend Chelsea on this list in case you wanted like something with better grip. And I guess I just did put it on this list, but like whatever. I'm emphasizing the Cavalier here because it's much lighter weight. I was really surprised they actually make something this lightweight for a Goodyear welted boot. And I think it's the most versatile boot on this list. You can get it in more casual leathers or in more dressy leathers, depending on what you need and what your style is. Personally, if I'm trying to get like one boot to do it all, I get brown suede like this. I think brown suede can go very easily from jeans and a t-shirt to like slacks and a button down. I actually did a capsule wardrobe video a while back where I picked like 3 kinds of footwear to last you in just about any situation, and this was the boot. It's very versatile. It's not great grip though if you're looking to go off-road. Now a boot that's a bit similar to the Luca boot that is more expensive, but it has the rare advantage of being resolable, yet flexible and lightweight, and American made. It is Red Wing's Weekender Chelsea boot. I talk about this boot all the time. I think it's the most underrated boot from this brand. Unlike most of Red Wing Heritage's boots, which are built more like a traditional heavy work boots, this is a kind of stitched down construction onto an extra thin crepe sole here, crepe rubber sole. So it's way lighter and easier to wear casually. They actually call this a leisure boot rather than a work boot. And despite the more sophisticated construction than the Luca, this is even more casual than the Luca, I think. So I think it does lose some points of versatility. The contrast sole is one of those reasons, but also the leather is more oily and more work boot-like. It's also pretty low on the instep, so if you have a tall instep, you might be unlucky with the fit here. But if what you want is a casual, durable boot, Red Wing is the king of that category, and this oil-tanned work boot leather is really tough and it ages wonderfully. And again, it's really, really lightweight for a resolable Red Wing. Now, everything so far has been a slightly different balance of like casual and versatile and durable. And if you don't care so much about style, or you know, if you care a little bit about style, but what you're really prioritizing is like waterproofness, you're spending a lot of time outdoors, I've got a waterproof boot for you that is very functional for a boot that looks this good. This is Ariat's Wexford boot. Is it the smartest boot in the world? No. But if you want waterproof and not just water resistant, I mean, first of all, you probably don't need waterproof. Like all of these other boots, they're gonna keep you dry in the normal amount of rain. But if you need something more heavy duty than that, this is the only waterproof boot I've ever seen that actually looks good. They tend to be really bulky to accommodate a waterproof membrane. And more often than not, waterproof boots are made for job sites and they look like it. But while this is not as sleek as the other boots on this list, the Wexford, very, very sleek for a waterproof boot. It looks good under jeans, like you can wear them casually, and it's also extraordinarily functional and outdoorsy, especially for a Chelsea boot. Downsides are they are the heaviest on this list and they can't be resoled. You can almost never resole a waterproof boot though, so you know, what are you complaining about if that's what you want? And whatever, it's under 200 bucks, so price is right. The last option, I'll give you 2 actually that are not Chelsea's if you're annoyed that this is just a list of Chelsea boots. There's one other underrated boot that's just as easy to get on and off, and that is the side zip boot. So here I've got Beckett Simonon's Easton. This is Blake stitched, so it is resolable but very flexible. It is a bit less water resistant than the others here, but it'll get you through a shower, no problem, I think, and it looks really, really smart. Some people complain that a zipper is a breakable part on a boot, which is fair, but that takes no time and costs nothing to fix at a cobbler's if it happens, and the ease and convenience of that side zipper, that usually wins out when it comes to arguably smarter alternative to a Chelsea and the big elastic goring, you know? Also, Beckett Simonon, I think my discount code STRIDE still works if you want 20% off those boots, which are already very inexpensive. The downside though is they take a few months for them to be made for you, and you probably need a boot now. If you do, Edmonds actually makes maybe the most popular side zip boot that's actually well made and made in America to boot. And I'm mentioning this one as maybe the best winter travel boot, you know, if you're going somewhere really, really cold, because this one here is shearling lined. But they also make like a regular side zip boot, it's called the Tompkins. If you want something that's not quite as toasty warm. They are Goodyear welted for durability. The rubber sole here is grippier than it looks, plus that flat sole is, you know, very stylish. It's actually a little bit more Western than you might expect for a brand like Edmonds. But yeah, the Tompkins side zip boot, whether or not you get this shearling version from Edmonds, it does have a lot of bonuses and it's also very long lasting and resolable, but it is heavier and stiffer than the other boots on this list. As a result, that's the compromise you gotta make, man. Those are my favorite travel boots. I think that's pretty good. We got some really casual ones, the more functional waterproof ones, the cold weather ones, but you didn't even realize there were so many things you could do with a Chelsea or side zip boot. Let me know your favorite travel boots below. Let me know what I've missed out on. There are boots that combine like laces and zippers, but I prefer like as low-key and minimalist as I can get. So, you know, I was pretty happy with that list. Very happy to hear your options, and subscribe below if you just went up here for more stuff on casual, durable menswear and footwear, and I'll catch you for the next video.